So without further delay, I'd love to introduce Lawrence from Nika. Um, Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Paige. Just let me start sharing. Okay, can you guys see my screen? All right, so yeah, adding good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you for the invite, Paige, and of course to NTC's team. So great to see you all. And I'm Lawrence from Nika, a Singapore-based AI company. So Nika is nature's best geospatial AI solution partner. And this is my co-founder, Johan. We work on large geospatial data projects for Singapore government when we were still working in Amazon Web Services. Later on, the two of us decided to start our own company in 2022 to follow our true passion for nature protection with tech. And not long after, we started our company. I think the biggest thing happened, to us is ChatGPT that launched in early 2023. And this concept of generative AI suddenly went so viral around the globe. Just today, our team presented up the stage in Super AI conferences in Singapore. And you guys will see a little bit of what we presented, on the stage without actually having to pay for, expensive tickets for today. And especially this year in 2025, we see so many agentic AI solutions coming up, but none of them that we see actually works for spatial nature purposes. So you can try, ask vegetation cover analysis in ChatGPT, and this is likely what you get in response. An AI that gives you the code or explanation, but nowhere near what impact reports, biodiversity mandates, or even carbon registration process need. If you prompt further, let's say in this case, can you run the analysis for it? Then ChatGPT will just give you some internet-based knowledge that is trained on. And the answer to this problem, as you see later on, is that we learned that it's not just an AI problem. It's also that this AI does not have a powerful enough geospatial analysis infra to run on for your nature problems. Luckily, Nika has been building our own geospatial analysis platform that's called Nika Planet for all sectors that face bottlenecks with the existing technologies that they use. So we span from agriculture all the way to nature. You can code, deploy, visualize data on map, all within our web platform, Nika Planet. So this is a demo of water quality models that's already been used by a global NGO. And water quality models used to be very financially costly and time-consuming. We are looking at about 1 month to effectively process a single area that you're looking at for Mexico. But Nika team managed to reduce that to only 30 minutes with just a single button click in Nika Planet itself, that taking the satellite images, and then run our own proprietary algorithm, and then finding the water quality, turbidity, and through all different kinds of chlorine and other kinds of substances. There are many more examples. Another one I can show you is the use of Nika Planet to generate READ Plus risk map under the BM48 model of Vera. And that's for the avoided deforestation carbon projects. And usually a project of this size would take a very long manual process. And even you do the VT07, you can see how long it takes when Nika Planet just finished it within 40 minutes. That's because we did a lot of parallelization on our server, and also we automated a lot of process. As we can see, a lot of common geospatial infra used to be just expensive ArcGIS Pro licenses. And when ArcGIS Pro does not work so well in your laptop itself, we are seeing people start to pay a lot more to rent a GPU server, and then they just put ArcGIS right in there. But now, if you realize that you also have to have a lot of DevOps engineers to take care of your GPU servers when it's going down. In contrast, Nika Planet uses Nika's own data lakehouse infrastructure. So users can then upload, terabytes of drone images, satellite data, and their surveying data to be analyzed, labeled within one place at a cheaper cost. The GIF that you see at the bottom, they are having the different kind of machine types to choose from, with CPU, GPU, and all across the board. You have the labeling that can label directly on your PNG, JPEG, or GIF data. And then lastly, a visualization that can span to 15 million points of PUI data within one map without lagging at all. With this powerful geospatial infra we built, today we are launching our new agentic AI solution at Super AI in Singapore, just to answer the problem that you see earlier that ChatGPT cannot solve. So for the same vegetation analysis question that we asked to ChatGPT, we throw it into our own agentic AI. You can see it being able to search data, pull data, run analysis, fix errors for me automatically, all through the prompt, as you can see over here. Of course, the video is sped up to fit into the time frame of these demo purposes. And so as it continues, it then just give you the notebook. We then take the notebook, we start running automatically, and you see an arrow over here. So I just prompted further to our agentic AI, and then you just continue and start looking to the problem and then solve it with a new version of the same notebook, and then it just runs fabulously. Of course, this only downloads the data, and there's a visualization section. So we just ask our agentic AI to continue doing the visualization for me. And then, as you can see over here, it just does a vegetation cover and then give me the map. You can think of Nika's agentic AI as your spatial analyst intern that's on your team, 24/7 available. You can do so much more than just this. So if you're interested in what Nika is doing, you can either talk to our sales team today about accessing Nika Planet that housed our own agentic AI, or you can use our research team to help you to solve any complex nature problems. Thank you so much, everyone. And it's very good to see many, many familiar faces again. Thank you so much.
Lawrence, thank you for that presentation. All right, we're going to unmute the audience and allow for questions to be asked. Does anyone have a question? We're going to leave some silence here for people to emerge, raise their hands, post in the chat.
I guess I can see the chat too. Let me just open it up.
One question from Carly. What satellite imagery are you pulling from?
So because we built the data infra ourselves that can house terabytes of data, so some of our users, they actually upload and migrated terabytes of data from their own drones or their own data providers, such as the G-Link data, the NASA's data, or I would say the Copernicus data. As long as they can get it, they bought it, they upload, they can just use it directly in our platform without any lagging. And if you are talking about agentic AI, you actually can put any public data sources as well on top of your own data. So that's the answer. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you. We have another one. Is it global data coverage?
Yes, I think we actually built our own data search engine, and the data search engine now encompass Google Earth Engine data, planetary computer, and we are also working to incorporate as many data sets as possible. And as long as there's global data in there, the AI is going to produce global data for you.
Luke, Luke from Cana Earth, does that answer your question? I'm gonna go with a yes. All right, Kevin Lambert from the National Park Service. Is your licensing model based on users?
Not necessarily. So sometimes I think there's two models. So the license model for companies is not just based on user seats, but there's also the fees of your usage as well in terms of the compute, right? Because none of these also come at a cheap price, but of course cheaper than ArcGIS Pro. Yeah, and there's also the model that if the company requires us to, follow your own data sovereignty issue requirements, we can also deploy Nika Planet and our agent AI into your own system, but that will be a separate license, and it's more like a deployment cost. Yeah.
Thanks, Lawrence. Any follow-ups, Kevin, or are you good? Gonna go with good. Okay, now from Ana Sofia Almagro from WWF and BCG. Do you review for hallucinations, and what kind of quality testing do you include?
Yeah, I think I'll answer your question in this way. The the agent that we build is not going to replace human. So sorry, so human is still pretty much needed for the whole end-to-end of project delivery. That's for sure. And the agent is more like your intern, right? Sometimes you want to do some research. Sometimes you want to run some, pro bono analysis. While you're just reading up different documentations, you can just let it do it for you. And then you just come back. The agent is going to run the code, fix it by itself, and then you can then use the results and then check into whether the code works for you. Is it, really following the order? And then you can prompt further, giving it, more information such as what you found out on a certain way of doing things. And yeah, so the review has to still be done by the human.
Thanks, really helpful.
That makes sense for where we're at with AI, right? Now we have a question from Carly from CI, Conservation International. What's the pricing structure for access to the platform?
Yeah, so there are two. So one is that it's basically license based on per seat. And then on top of it, if you want, then there's also the fees for compute that you have to, if you actually exceeded the base model, and we actually give a very, very generous offering. It's like starting from 1 terabytes for the team. So if you actually need more, you can actually just pay more, but we won't be charging a lot of that, because that's not how we think that we should be charging you for. And if the company is basically looking for the custom solution to build it into your system, your own data platform, then in that case, we have to look at, deploying an engineer working on your team. So the pricing structure will pretty much be having to pay for, one person's cost of actually working with your team to making sure everything works and follow your security rules. Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Any other questions from the crowd here?
Yeah, I see Carly also asked tangible numbers. Yeah, I think that the minimum for enterprises we start is 7,500, if that's useful for you.
And you can also go ahead and speak up, Carly, if you want, I think. Thanks. Okay, good. Lawrence, such incredible movement, by the way, since the last time, I mean, almost a year ago when you made your demo to me when you were onboarding onto the Nation Tech Collective. So really fantastic to see this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, do leave your details as well in the chat so everyone can have access to them, or any way to contact you. And I guess if we don't have anything, if you think of a question and you want to ask it to Lawrence, you can do it after all the demos.